Thank you all again for being here and embarking on this journey with us. The event is being sponsored by the Office of the President, and we're so happy to have Dr. Connie Ledoux Book with us. I told her she has sat through so many of these functions and heard her own biography, and it's easily accessible. And I thought instead that I would share. Don't worry, Connie, it's okay. I would just introduce her in a way that perhaps resonated with our scholars and their stories. Dr. Book comes from Louisiana and a large family of 9. And so she understands what it means to be working class, hardworking, what it's like to have collegiate aspirations when your kind of your family's fiscal profile may not support that. And for many of our scholars for whom college has been an idea and a dream, and perhaps not knowing how to finance it may be an issue, this is a president and a woman who understands college access, success, and the importance of education as a gateway, not just for a better future for the individual, but for families, for entire communities. So when I conceived of this idea for the Freedom Scholars, and I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it, it's really, I think, heartwarming when one moves from theory to practice. And I always kind of think about the ways in which we take our work as scholars and teachers to the streets, to the people. And one of the things that we really admire about President Book and about our strategic plan for 2030 is the way in which she centers Elon in our community. It is so important for Alamance County and Burlington schools that we build a stronger educational future for our students. We have, and we are poised on new leadership. The new superintendent will join us on July 1. And we're really excited, along with you, to see what this inaugural cohort of Freedom Scholars will do. Again, when I think about President Book's work at Elon and beginning here as a faculty member, I think about the way in which we are taught to look before we leap. And I want to impress upon you the importance sometimes of leaping before you look. I've learned this a lot in the last year about when you take the time to just think and ponder about things, opportunities pass you by. And so she has left us at Elon, and she went to the Citadel, and she was provost there, so she returned home, and this is her home. So in her remarks to you today, I want you to pay attention not only to her words, but the way in which her own life exemplifies the importance of leaping before you look, and the aerial view is much better too when you do that, and of you really embracing this opportunity. You're already brave. I know so many of you shared, parents and students, about the fact that you were a little anxious about what to expect. So this is good training and proving ground for you on our year-long journey together. So please help me in welcoming our first female president here at Elon, Dr. Connie Ledoux Book.
Thank you, Dr. Lane. That was very, very nice, thoughtful. I'm really thrilled to be here. First, I'm just going to say I love the name of this program, Freedom Scholars. I've always loved the word freedom. There's something powerful about freedom. And so I love the idea that the program and was named Freedom Scholars because I truly believe it is through an education. And as Dr. Lane said, I'm a believer, and it changed my life to go to college, and it changed my whole family's life when I went to college. And I was inspired by my parents, who were first-generation college students, and it led to all 9 of us going to college, and it truly does change your life. One of the things is that it also creates a life of learning. So there's nothing more powerful than learning something. You know, this power that we have, and I call it the everyday miracle, that we can learn something new, right? And then it changes our lives. So, and that's all ages and stages throughout the rest of your life that you can continue to learn. So, welcome to Elon. Elon, I'll just tell you, is Hebrew for oak. We're actually not sure how the university got the name Elon. We know they went into a room and then they came back and they said the university will be named Elon. It was the 4th try at opening a university. And so that's another story in itself about keep trying. You know what happens if you keep trying, eventually you're successful. So when I always say, if it doesn't happen the first time, do not stop, because it definitely can happen the second or the third or the fourth. So keep trying. So Elon, Hebrew for oak, we welcome you, and it's exciting to have this partnership, this new partnership, and I am very grateful to Dr. Prudence Lane for bringing her vision to this program and to see it in practice. I agree. It's one thing to read a proposal, and then it's another thing to see a group of young people all in the room with their families about to embark on this journey that was designed. So the Teagle Foundation, who is Elon's partner in this work, is centered on student success. And they're always looking for innovative ways to offer a deepened learning experience for students, everything from a classroom to a real-world engagement. So they have a whole range of efforts that they support. And they supported first a grant to help the faculty and Dr. Lane design the program. And then they were so impressed with the design, they came back and said, yes, proceed with an even larger grant to help this, because they believe, like us, like Elon, that one of the ways in which you ensure that a student attends college is to begin that journey in high school and preparing them, and for the process itself of applying and navigating the choice of going to college and where you go. And so really excited to have you all here and for this work to begin. One of the values that you're going to hear a lot about this week is around citizenship. Citizenship. So I'm just curious, and anybody can shout out, what do you think, when that word is said, citizenship, and you think about that as an action, what does that mean to you? What does it mean to be a good citizen? Participate, being engaged. All right, I like that. Community. So, right, getting out there with people that you live with and in your greater area. Empathy, that's so seeking to understand. That's a critical aspect of citizenship. Any others? You know, I think some very traditional ways people will say, well, that means you vote. You know, citizenship means you vote. Citizenship means that you're active with the city council maybe, or government. And what I like about the words that you all just used is that it suggests that citizenship is a variety of things, right? But it is, I would say, in community, right? It's in seeking to understand and that empathy, and so all of those aspects. So that takes skill sets. It just doesn't happen naturally. You actually have to learn to be a good citizen. And it's, you know, we talk about in today's world that things are really divided, that there's a lot of heated debate, and that people are struggling to be in the middle, that they're struggling to hear and learn and to do that respectfully. We just talked about it at our table, and I shared that I used to work at Kmart at the service desk, and I did that for 2 years. While I was in school. And let me just tell you, at the service desk, that's where people are returning things. It can be a really heated environment. And I worked in the evening and on weekends, and the woman who worked at the service desk during the day, she taught me, she said, well, now people are gonna come in and they're gonna be really hot. They're gonna be at a 10. They're going to be at a 10. You're going to have to try to get them to come down, be at a 5. And the way to do that is to say, respectfully, you're at a 10, and I'd really like us to come down to a 5 so that we can get the problem solved. And I have to tell you that working that service desk has helped me so much in my life. And it's not, I didn't have that skill set. I had to learn it. And gratefully, she was a great mentor to me. And when I had particularly challenging customers returning things, I would process it with her. And I'd always, it's what the military calls after action. You know, I'd say, look, this happened yesterday. What's a way I could have done it differently? Or how could I? And I'd always try to learn from her and the process. So it is, and that's why I know absolutely that citizenship is a skill set. And we learn it from practicing it. And how valuable Sheila was, the woman who worked during the day, to me. She probably would not have said, I'm mentoring Connie, but she was absolutely a mentor. Because she would ask me when I got there, well, how did it go last night? And then, you know, she was trying to help me to be successful. That's what mentors do, right? They help us in all sorts of different ways to be successful. And that's the other piece that you're going to be focused on during your work here is building that network of mentors and to use how to use that tool. And it will take investment. And so I'm grateful that you raised your hand and said, I want to be a part of the Freedom Scholars. Because by raising your hand, taking time to fill out that application, get your letter of reference, all of that work was steps toward being admitted to this program and beginning that journey. And that's exactly the process that you will go through when you apply to college. So, you know, filling out the applications, getting the letters of reference. So that practice that you did for this program is going to serve, and that's what you'll do when you go to get a job. So it's all that same journey of practice. One of the things I'm really proud of at Elon is the work that we do in Alamance County across several communities and here on our own campus of working very hard to seek to understand, to listen, to be respectful of lots of different value systems that are in play in our world. We had a speaker on campus last year that reminded us that we're trying to do really something challenging in America. Her name was Valerie Kerr, and she wrote a book called See No Stranger. And she told the students, we're trying to do something really challenging in America. We're trying to build the world's most diverse democracy. And her parents had fled Pakistan. And she said, you know, my parents in Pakistan, if they disagreed, you know, it was violence was the way they solved that. And so she said, look, we're here in America. We're trying to do something really challenging. And she encouraged the students at Elon to approach difference and different people by understanding that they were just a part of her life, of your life that you don't know yet. To be curious, you know, to ask questions, and to stay engaged and to be patient. She had a lot of good advice about this time we're in. And so I'm excited about the topics that around your well-being that you'll learn about this week, the mentoring, financial literacy. That's going to go a long way in helping to plan for college as well. Community engagement, all of those pieces are part of this program, which is designed to prepare you for your life. And to the parents and families, I know that it takes commitment for you as well to have your student here with us, and so we're really proud that you are willing to partner with us and to engage with us, and we look forward to inviting you back to participate in the programs. One best practice that Dr. Lane has infused into this program is that in addition to these weeks on campus, that you throughout the year will come back, and that sustained relationship is really valuable as you encounter your next year and making decisions and planning for college. So that sustained relationship, really grateful, and we do encourage the parents and families to keep coming back and ask questions. That's why we're here. So this integrative approach that's been designed in this program truly is the pathway to college. We have another program on campus that's here right now, so you'll engage with students who are in Elon Academy, which is our other program. And just to give you an idea of how successful these programs are, Elon Academy is in its 16th year. It has had 100% college acceptance, 100%. And this class that just graduated in May had over $1.5 million in scholarship awarded to it, and it was 21 students. So it's really successful. And if there was any doubt, I like 100%. I'm a fan of 100%. It works. And it does work, and it will advance you to college. It's going to help you identify resources to make sure that when you go to college that you don't have to take on a lot of debt. That's what we're here for, and we'll make sure all of that happens. But truly, the most important thing that's going to happen in this program is that you're going to discover yourself, right? That's the exciting part of a learning journey, is you're going to discover more about yourself, and where you're headed, and what's next, and how to get there. And that journey is the one that gives you the freedom, knowledge for freedom. That's the inspiration behind calling it Freedom Scholars. So I challenge you to stay with us. This one of the things that's easy to check out. Try to put your phone to the side. So that you can stay focused on what's happening during the day here. I don't even have my phone with me. Right, and I have made it a practice not to have my phone with me all the time. You can survive it. There's a little bit of withdrawal, but you can survive it, and it keeps you more engaged with what's happening in the room. So try to stay focused, dive in. It's going to be great. Get to know your mentors. So you have mentors in here, and I know we're about to get to meet some of them. So really grateful for the Elon faculty and students who also raised their hand to be a part of your journey over the next few weeks and across the year. So lots of fun in store. Thank you.
Thank you, President Book. As some of you may have heard, Professor Shelton is not well, and so Dr. Galmatt will be taking over his class for the next several days, and we wish him a speedy recovery. There are so many people who have been a part of this journey of bringing us all together today. President Book mentioned the mentors, the faculty, Dr. Shelton and Galmatt, Dr. Johnson, whom you've not met and who is on sabbatical, was also part of our planning team, and Dr. Christina Stafford as well. And I as a note of personal bias, have to say a tremendous thank you to Ashley Tatum. Ashley was my student. She graduated, but I'm really in denial still. And she has been my TLA, which is my teaching learning assistant. She's taken several classes with me, and really, she will be going to work in DC in the fall, and any school district, any classroom will be happy to have her. So I invite her now in Dr. Shelton's stead to come to the podium and introduce our mentors, and she will be followed by Dr. Galmatt, who will introduce our scholars, and then we will wrap up the evening.
Thank you, Dr. Lane. Hello, everyone. So like Dr. Lane said, I have the pleasure of introducing our undergraduate mentors who will be working with our scholars these next 2 weeks and throughout the year. So Hallie Campo is a political science major with minors in history and criminal justice. She's a first-generation college student from North Carolina and is dedicated to supporting high school students navigating the application process. She hopes to attend law school and become a civil rights and medical malpractice lawyer. Davon Davis is a rising sophomore from Statesville, North Carolina, a teaching fellow, history education with licensure, and philosophy double major, and a women and gender studies minor. So lots of things. They will be applying for the Lumen Prize over the course of the next year with the support of Dr. Galmatt. Concerning ethics, social justice, and the pedagogy of how we teach young people about gender and sexuality. Caroline Defranco is a creative writing and a communication design major from Richmond, Virginia, an Elon College fellow, also active in the Colonnades Literary and Art Journal and the PACE program. She is passionate about working against the school-to-prison pipeline, which she witnessed in her hometown, and has been especially jarred by artworks, an art exhibit, and a play that unpack these themes, supporting her own interest in creative writing. Madison Johnson is a rising junior public health major from South Florida with minors in policy studies and environmental studies, active with Loy Farm and Campus Kitchen around Elon food security initiatives for Alamance County. As a participant in Dr. G's health and social justice class last spring, she became more energized to get involved in local social justice projects. Ian Matson is a rising senior, double major in philosophy and political science from the Philadelphia area, who hopes to pursue an academic career in one of these fields. In addition to mentoring at a summer camp in previous years, Ian has lots of experience mentoring and coaching high school students from his time in high school debate. He also served as Dr. G's teaching and learning assistant for an introductory ethics course last winter term. Nolan Schreiner is a rising junior political science major with a minor in communications from Atlanta, Georgia, active in Elon Votes as well as Elon Club Rugby, and like Ian, was active in high school debate. He has studied Plato's Republic in multiple course contexts and is eager to engage this foundational text with students passionate about civic engagement. Christina Stafford is a rising junior and honors fellow active in Elon Mock Trial and Students for Peace and Social Justice. Majoring in English with a concentration in creative writing, she has also been active in community tutoring. Christina was a part of a similar program for high school students before college and is excited to support current high school students as she was supported. Rachel Code is founder and president of Elon Philosophy, Politics, and Economics Society, a student representative to the PPE Advisory Board. She is also active in the WSOE radio station and passionate about mentoring and advocacy for equitable learning. During her time at Elon, she has moved from the business track to meta questions about the ethics of markets and their effects on human and non-human environments, leading her to form the PPE Society. And we now welcome Rachel to share some opening thoughts on behalf of the undergraduate mentors.
Alrighty, hi everyone. Excited to see you all and talk with you later. I got a little book and it's handwritten, so forgive me if I stumble over some words for these remarks. On behalf of the student mentors, I would like to thank you all for joining us tonight as we gather to shine a much-deserved spotlight on the first cohort of Elon Freedom Scholars. Now a college senior, I know how life-changing mentoring relationships can be. Sophomore year of high school, I was lucky enough to meet my mentor, Maria. Tonight with you, I'll keep it brief and pass along just one thing I've learned from her. It's that our perceived limitations are just that, perceptions. As someone who struggles with internal conversations that sound like, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, and you're definitely not qualified enough, those words have previously stopped me from pursuing things I really want. Today, I implore each of you to remind yourself of how far you have come and what you've done to get here. I hope you feel proud. Theory can be learned, test-taking skills can be drilled, and essay formatting is teachable. Grit, persistence, and passion are unlocked from within. We must continue to reach for the dreams we never thought were possible for us. With every new generation of young people, I see us getting hungrier, increasingly passionate for social change, and craving freedom. Students, thank you so much for being here. We have a lot to learn from you. It's our responsibility as a mentorship community to ensure young minds have the stamina to keep fighting. I am so grateful for this program and everyone here tonight. A community where we can come together to learn, have fun, and heal is incredibly special. Mentors, my wish for us is that we may cultivate genuine, caring relationships with the mentees. May we inspire, motivate, and support them along their journeys. I'd like to end tonight with an African proverb that you may know. It says, if you want to walk fast, go alone. If you want to walk far, go together. Mentees, know that you are capable, know that you are loved, and know that you deserve to be here. We are so proud of you. Thank you.
Can we just have all of the mentors stand, please?
Oh, yes.
All right. My name is Lauren Galmatt. Most of my students call me Dr. G because Galmatt's kind of long, and it's hard to pronounce. So Dr. G is just fine. And I will be teaching your philosophy course for the Freedom Scholars in the room. I think I've met all of the mentors at this point, but it was such a pleasure going through your applications and revisiting them in anticipation of getting to meet each of you. I'm so excited for our first day of class tomorrow, but I'm just going to take a moment to read through and tell everyone just a little bit about each of our Freedom Scholars and all of the really fantastic interests and achievements and hopes and dreams that they're bringing into this space. So first off, and I'm going to save Gabe for last, so I'm going out of order. So Fatima Barrilles is from Graham High School. She identifies as part of the Latinx community, and she is really interested in supporting queer Latinx youth who may be struggling with less supportive families. She's also concerned with access to mental health care in her community. Fatima wants to start at ACC and then transfer for the last 2 years. She's not sure exactly what she wants to do, but she wants to earn her family's pride in what she does. Danielle Bunker is coming to us from Eastern High School. Danielle co-founded her school's BSU in 2021. Well done. Active in her church, she teaches in the education wing. She is president and founder of the Helping Hands Club at her school and co-captain of the volleyball team. Danielle plans to major in nursing and minor in engineering, and she wants to study and be fluent in Spanish. Her letter writer shared with our application review team that she is already actively assisting patients, and she is precise in her work and caring in her interactions. Next, we have Taylor Duke. Taylor is at Graham High School. She is also earning an associate's at ACC. Her application shares that she, along with her sister, who's already at Elon, are first-generation college students. She's really enjoyed her ethics class at ACC, so I'm hoping she's going to like my class. We'll see. And she wants to attend Elon like her sister. So I hope that you feel really welcome in this space and that it lives up to your expectations. Also, Taylor volunteers with NC Somos Mas, which helps register Latinx people to vote. And she volunteered for the campaigns of Ricky Hurtado, Dreama Caldwell, and others. In her life goals, she is really committed to the Latinx community in Alamance and to supporting this community. Next, we have Samuel Gutierrez Moreno, who's also at Graham High School. And Sam is active in his church, Pinnacle Ministries, and does a lot of community work in that space. He wants to go to college to be financially secure in his future. And his letter of recommendation, all of the letters were so lovely. I know you never get to read these when you apply for something, but they were really beautiful. His letter shared that he's always been really happy to assist students with translation between Spanish and English in classes, which is a really kind way to extend your abilities to your peers. Next, we have Daniela Munoz. Daniela is at Williams High School, where she is part of the IB program, very active in supporting Latinx students and the community. She is the student leader of HALO, which is the Hispanic and Latinx organization at Williams. Her interests in community change are to strengthen the Latinx community all the more in our county, given, as she observes, that this population includes so many people, but often is not politically united due to ethnic and cultural differences, et cetera. And so she's really dedicated to that. She plans to attend a four-year college to study sports medicine and to become either a sports doctor or a physical therapist for a professional team. Next, we have Hallie Nguyen from Williams High School. She is the vice president of the Gender and Sexuality Alliance at Williams, and she is committed to supporting LGBTQ+ young people, including working on a queer inclusive dance at her school. She's also active in community theater with Studio One. And Hallie wants to study creative writing in college. She's interested in storytelling, perhaps pursuing playwriting or acting someday. Next, Kailyn Olivier is at Western Alamance High School, and she is the senior troop leader for her Girl Scouts troop, interested in pursuing a four-year degree in psychology and sociology, and then going to med school to become a psychiatrist. And if your plans have changed, that's just fine. This is just what you wrote a few months ago. That's the beautiful thing about starting at college. Things can change. Ashley Ramirez Martinez is at ABSS Early College of ACC. She's active with the Hiking Club, the Key Club, UNICEF, Burlington Youth Council. Ashley was born in the U.S., but grew up in a small farming town in Mexico and came back to Burlington with her family during her childhood. As a high school student, she regularly volunteers her time as a free babysitter to support other families who may be experiencing some of the stress that her own family experienced. Her future goals after attaining her associates in science at ACC are to transfer to UNC Chapel Hill, or ECU, to study biology and biotechnology, and she's quite specific on this. She wants an MA in biotechnology by the age of 25. Okay. Cheering you on. Next, we have Serenity Richardson, who's at Williams High School. And Serenity, in their concerns for our county, they're most concerned about drug issues in Alamance County. They see how this has hurt families around them, and they want to help other families who are going through similar struggles. They're also proud to be the first in their family to attend college, the oldest of 5. They are really interested in their career in going into supporting adolescents who are coming out as LGBTQ, and they want to eventually become a therapist for teenagers and to study psychology and sociology in college to this end. Carlos Rivas Enriquez is joining us from Cummings High School. He's also a first-generation college student and interested in Elon, so again, I hope we impress you. And Carlos is interested in digital design and animation. He's interested in becoming perhaps a digital effects artist, maybe an animator, and he also has an interest in biomedical engineering to make prosthetics, which I'm really curious about, so I'll ask you more about that later. Next, we have Jakayla Simmons, who's joining us from Williams High School. And Jakayla is active in the Academy of Finance, where she regularly, this is very impressive to me, volunteers with income tax assistance. She wants to go on to pursue law, so she volunteers and helps people with their income taxes in Alamance County as a high school student, really impressive. She observes that people in her neighborhood are incarcerated for long periods of time because they can't access a good attorney, and she wants to address this inequity, either around criminal justice law or medical malpractice law. Her primary concerns, sharing this with Serenity, are concerns about the harms of drug use in her community. Nevaeh Stroud is joining us from Southern Alamance High School. And she's very active in the arts community. So she regularly attends a space called Visual Arts Intermediate, where she goes to open studio time. And she's really involved in the honors track of arts courses and is interested in digital art. And then last but not least, we have Taylor Wiley, who is joining us from Williams High School. Taylor's active in her faith community, Ebenezer Baptist Church, active as well on her school's dance team, a strong advocate for students in historically marginalized groups at her school. She's committed to working across the historical segregation. I found this really exciting. She's committed to working across the historical segregation of East and West Burlington, which I think is shared across the room. But I was really glad that Taylor named that. And hopes to unite young activists across this divide. Her future career plans involve veterinary school or perhaps fashion design. So much promise in that set of bios, and it was truly a joy for me to get to reread what each of you wrote. And so maybe could we have all the Freedom Scholars stand so we could give them applause? Thank you. Oh, I'm so sorry. And last but not least, thank you, Dr. Lane. I am so forgetful. Last but not least, Gabe Allred, who I had listed first but was in fact last. So Gabe is a geography whiz, or so I've read in his letter of recommendation. And he wants to go to medical school so he can work with Doctors Without Borders, specifically in Nigeria. I was really impressed by the specificity of Gabe's application. Gabe is clearly someone who's thought about next steps, and I really admire that. He wants to go to ACC, then UNC Chapel Hill, and then med school so that he can be a doctor for Doctors Without Borders. I'm very excited to be part of the journey. And now, without further ado, let's welcome all of our Freedom Scholars, and let's welcome Gabe up front to give a few words.
So, hello everyone. My name is Gabe. As you know, I'm going to be giving you some words. So, first off, I want to start out by saying thank you to Dr. Book for your office for sponsoring this dinner procession. I think that speaks volumes about you and your office. And thank you to Dr. Lane, who took the steps to have this program created and really put herself out there and said, I want to help my community members. And I think that really speaks volumes about her person, or about her personality. And on that note, today is a very special day for several reasons. Firstly, it's Father's Day, Dad. So I think you all should take the time to say thank you to your dad, or it doesn't have to be your dad. It can be any family figure, any father figure, any person in your family. Just take the time to really show them that you appreciate them. And secondly, today is also a very important day because today is Juneteenth. It is a very happy day because it marks the end of slavery within the United States, a bestial, animalistic practice, but it is a happy day because we celebrate that. Now, thirdly, it is Pride Month. So I think we should all take the time to really analyze ourselves and see if we're making a really inclusive surrounding, or if we're making an inclusive environment for us and for our friends and for our friends' friends. And while all these things are very good, and they make us very happy, and they should make us happy, they should also carry a certain weight to them. Because although we as a country, have come very far in terms of race and gender identity and sexual orientations, we have come very far in that space, but we should know that we still have a very long way to go as far as that's concerned. And you may ask me, what do you mean by this? So on a personal note, I'm from Snow Camp. If you don't know where that is, it's between nowhere and nowhere. It's not exactly known for anything except for like cows and maybe skeet shooting. I don't really know. It's not really known for anything. I know we were talking about animals getting loose at the table. I actually several recesses have been canceled at my elementary school because cows would get out and they'd get into the playground, and I'd be so mad because those dang cows. But on a more serious note, Snow Camp is a very rural community, and it is very conservative, and I grew up in that environment. And to an extent, it taught me to hate. I'm not saying the idea of conservatism as a whole teaches hate, but I know where I'm from, I was taught hate. And sort of with that in mind, fast forwarding to my middle school years, I struggled with that hate. I struggled with those thoughts. I'm sort of dancing around it a little bit, but I'm a member of the LGBT community, and I had grown up around so much hate, and I was angry at society, and I was angry at myself, because part of me was like, why me? Why can't I be normal? And that ended up to me helping other LGBTQ students of my age. And that sort of begot a passion for helping people. And, on the topic of Snow Camp being very rural, it's very isolated. There's not a lot of diversity there, sadly. So that also begot a need for me to reach out for different cultures, to reach out for people who are different than me, for something different. And if you take this and you put it all in a blender, and with my family's long-standing history of community service, it seemed like a no-brainer to be a doctor. Like, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is that that's my path. That's what I want to do to help people. And that's not everybody's path. Each and every person in this room, no matter where you are in your life, no matter who you are, no matter how you grew up, no matter where you grew up, you all have a fire inside of you to help your fellow human. I'm sorry, I kept. So the overarching sort of point of this speech is that you all are very capable of helping one another. And I think that today is the start of something great, because all 15 of us, I feel like we will be the leaders in our community, and we will be the trailblazers for something great to help our community members. So with that being said, I thank you all for letting me speak. Thank you all for listening to me. I hope you all have a good afternoon, and I look forward to being an Elon Freedom Scholar.
So looking forward to the next year with you all, if that is a prelude of what's to come. I'm going to ask the mentors to please follow Ashley into the room here to my left. And I'm going to ask all of the scholars to come up and join me at the podium, if you would flank the podium. And I'm going to ask the families to just get your cameras ready. And some of you can stand over here to my right as well. So during orientation, I said to you, essentially, to come as you are. One of the things that we built into this program is that we did not want this to impose any additional burdens for you. And I am a woman of surprises. I love surprising people. I've just discovered. So they're making quite a production back there. Mentors, if you would come and just place one of the bags in front of the scholars. We can do some swapping later on, but just for now, let's do that.
Exciting things.
So last week, couple days ago, I got a call and somebody said, asked me this question, and I knew this was coming, and I was just bursting with excitement because I knew an Oprah moment was coming, And so on the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to just lift the tissue paper, reach in, and pull the box out. And 1, 2, 2.5, 3. Go for it. So for those of you in the back who might not be able to see, we are proud and happy to present our Freedom Scholars with the latest version of the iPad. And we have also made sure that we provided you with an extended 4-year warranty for the device, so that if anything happened. So Gabe was the one who called me, and he said, Dr. Lane, I know it's not required, but do we need a computer? And I said, well, it's not like I just bought these, And I said, no, it's not required. Do you have one? And he said, no, I personally do not. Almost lost it. And then I said, but we have a media services department at Elon, and so if you need one, we can provide one for you. But like we said, it's so important for me, for the rest of our team, that we start you off right. We've also given you everything in your rooms, your linens, your lamps. We thought about the things that you would need to take you to college. And so when we're done, you take those with you. So before she leaves, I'm going to ask that you just take a group photo with President Book. We'll walk back to Global, and we'll have some fun getting to know you kind of activities, and we'll say goodbye to the family. We've got them. We've got them. Thank you so much for coming today, and we will look forward to seeing you again.